Okay, so we're going to take a look at basically creating a bunch of different lower thirds. I'm going to make sure that my microphone's working. Yeah. And I have a couple problems with iShowU 1.92.8, so I went back to version 1.92.7. So if you use iShowU for anything out there and you have Mavericks, I would not suggest upgrading to the newest version. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead in After Effects and create a new comp. And I'm just going to call this first one lower thirds design 1, and we're going to do several. Okay, I'm going to probably make the background white. Alright. And well, let's see, for this first one we'll make it black. We'll keep it black. 1080 24 frames a second, that's what we want, and the duration 30 seconds. Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and bring my title action safe up, and if you don't have rulers you need to bring those up. Show rulers. Okay, and I'm gonna come over here and select my rectangle tool, and I'm going to fill this with white. That's why I want that black background. And I'm going to bring a couple of rules down. And this first one around 700, a little bit lower than that, around there. Alright, and we'll just make it straight up 700. You go back to our move tool, V, if we want to. There we go. Alright, move this down. Alright, I'm just moving these around here. I'm going to delete this shape layer. It was an accident, didn't mean to create that. Alright, and then maybe right here. Alright, for this one. And I'm going to drag another one down to about 750 there, and a little bit further. Something about like, maybe like that. Actually, we'll do it down here. Yeah, about right there. That looks good. Alright. So I'm going to create, let's get my rectangle tool. I'm going to choose white. Stroke set to 0, and I'm going to pull this out right here, and it should snap into place. I'm going to get my pan behind tool, and you can move this around. If I hold command down on the keyboard, it'll snap to if you hold down shift on your keyboard there, it'll command and shift, it'll snap to all these different points. So I'm going to bring it over here, because when I rescale this or resize it, alright, I want it to resize from the edge. Okay, I don't want it to resize from the center. And if we don't move that tool, say, okay, I'm gonna leave this right here, the center point right here. If I try and resize it, it's gonna resize from the center. We don't want that. Wherever, and you gotta remember this, wherever this is, wherever the center point is on your shapes, that's where this will resize from. So just remember that, okay? Alright, so right there. Okay, and you can also turn on your snapping feature right here as well. And this is, it says if you hold down command to temporarily reverse the behavior, but you can also make sure the check mark's there for your snapping, right? And so pan behind tool, and make sure that trying to find, now, here we are. Snapping's turned on, and you can easily find these anchor points. And just remember, hold down Command and it'll do it. You also have snap along edges. Both of these, snap to and show features. You know, make sure that no, I'll make sure we, alright, so that's fine. I'll just kind of put it right here, or I'm gonna drag it a little bit off, just a little bit off the canvas here. I'm gonna go ahead and get my move tool, and I'm gonna drag it here, right? And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to transform, and I'm gonna go to scale. So I'll make a keyframe here, and maybe about, since there's 12 frames is half a second, because we're doing 24 frames a second. And all I have to do is just double click on that, and then once those boxes turn white, you can click and pull. Alright, and make another keyframe. Alright, double click here. Maybe it's this. Yeah, that was the wrong one, not the transform there. So we need scale here, and then we can drag, well, go to 12 frames here, and then we can drag it out. There we are. So if you're in shapes, make sure you're doing it under the transform rectangle, not under this transform. You have two transforms, and we want to make sure under the rectangle and under the shape options, and that's where we want to be at. So it is the scale you can see here, and if I move this back here, all right, you can also move this in a little bit, all about right there, and hit your play, and you can see. All right, there we go, pretty easy. All right, we want it to stay up for a while, so what we can do is we can copy, just select, drag around, select those, Command C, copy, and I'm gonna come down here and paste these. And what you can do is I'm gonna select this one and move this up right here. Let's see. Well, I want to move this in reverse. All right. So I'll show you again. I moved my playhead down, and then I pasted. Oops. Copy these, Command C, move your playhead down, and then Command. Make sure scale is selected, Command V. This has to be selected. Alright, so what I could do is I could move these, this in frame right here, I'm going to move it slightly before it, right there, slightly before this one, because what I'm doing by switching those keyframes out is I'm actually reversing the order. So when we get down to the edge, see, it reverses the order. Right here, it's small and it grows to the second keyframe, and it stays this way, and then from this keyframe to here, it shrinks back. So it's an easy way to reverse what you did without having to create a whole new set of keyframes. So go ahead and watch it play out, and then when it gets there, it'll come back. Pretty simple. Alright, let's go ahead and save this. I'm going to save this as lower thirds designs Alright. Just because we're going to do a couple. So we'll have it come out here, and then we're going to have some text pop in. Something like John Rodriguez. Alright, and do that. Futura, that's fine. I'm going to make it big. And the color, I'm going to make it black. And I'm going to go to medium there. And just, got to make sure, somewhere along the lines right there, maybe. You can make it even bigger, you know. It can be pretty big. Just remember, it's got to be within your title safe, which is the center. Your title safe is the center box here, so it has to be within that in your paragraph. Yeah, that's right, justified, so we'll put it right there. Alright, somewhere right, like right there. That's cool. Alright, so I don't want this to come in until about right here. So what I can do is hold down Option or Alt and then left the bracket key, and it'll trim the beginning of this off. Alright. You just could turn on mouse pose A. Mouse pose A gets to be a little annoying at times. But I guess I'll make sure that it's on keystrokes. So we'll show you that again. Command Z to undo it. Alright, just move it here. Option. And then left bracket key and it trims it. Alright. Now, I'll just make sure F5 turns it off and on. Alright, so you have effects too, like effects and presets. Let's go to animation presets. You have text here. You have 3D text. You have this animate in. So there's a lot of I don't even know what all of them do. You just kind of have to drag them onto this. You'll see how they work. It's kind of cool. I don't know. You just got to go through and see kind of what works. Slow fade in, smooth move in. I kind of like that. Maybe. See how this works. Yeah, that's kind of neat. Alright, so you can play it. Takes a while. It's just a little bit too, not sure I like that. Oops. Wherever your playhead is at, okay, when make sure our effects control is up. Effects and presets, well that's up. But we want to also make sure that our effects is up over here as well. You got these two animators. I'm gonna delete both of those. I don't want those. Okay, so make sure. Alright, let's see what this wipe into center is. Yeah, I'm not sure I like that, but to see what your text animation is, you just have to expand your arrow here, and then it should be applied to your text there. I'm just trying to find something that's kind of cool, but that's not too. That looks like it's going to take too long. Well, I mean, we could always do our own if we want to. This sometimes, saves you a little time, but I like the smooth move in. It just takes a while. And we need something that happens fast, so what we'll do, I'll show you a little trick. We're going to do the transform for this, and what we'll do is we'll take this text, hold down Shift, and we're going to move it off stage here, and I'm going to make a position here, and then I'm going to move this up a little bit, hold down Shift, and I'm going to kind of move it almost to the edge here, and then I'm going to move it back maybe right here, and then move it maybe right there. So it looks like it's got a little bounce. See, it looks like it's got a little spring here. Save it, and then we can RAM preview it. See, that looks kind of cool. I really like that. I have like this little spring into action there. Alright. And then just like we did before, we could copy it, paste it here, and just kind of reverse the order on this just a little bit. I just want it to look, kind of natural here. But we need it to happen before this goes out. So we'll have it, happen right, a little bit right before the animation where this slides out. Timing's everything on these things, Alright, so now we can do a RAM preview real quick. And you see it. It goes out. So that's pretty cool. Just, some basic keyframing stuff. Not getting too fancy here. Alright. I'm gonna minimize that, save what we got. I'm gonna make another shape after this comes in. About right there. I'm gonna have another shape come down. So let's make another shape. And we're going to put it below, we're going to have it below this, but I'm going to go ahead and draw it out. Maybe right there. Well, that's what we need to do. You need to go new. You need to go shape layer. You can hit return on the keyboard to rename this, and we'll say name, background, shape. Alright. And this is going to be designation, background, shape. Alright. And I'm going to bring this right below this. Alright. And I'm going to turn on mouse Jose here. Keystrokes. Alt left bracket to trim it. I want to bring it in just a little bit. Alright. When I hit F5 and you see it off, I'm just turning mouse Jose keystrokes off. So I'm trying to get it turned off and on. Alright. So with this layer, now I can draw my shape. I'm going to fill it with a slightly different color. I wanted to do black. Be kind of hard to see, but maybe a dark blue or something. Alright, I'm just going to draw it. Maybe right around there. Alright. And I guess we could have it right below that one. Let me get my zoom tool, which is Z on the keyboard. Make sure my snapping's turned on. You can hold down Command to turn off the snapping if this is turned off. If this is not turned on, then well, it's not going to do it, I don't think. Let's see. Yeah, this has to be turned on. I'm gonna bring these up, bring out a line on the slide, maybe right here. This is E. Bring this in a little bit. Zoom out. Well, this got really long. I don't want that anymore. It didn't do what I wanted it to do. So I'm just gonna maybe draw that out right there. That's cool. Alright, that's about the size that I want it. Now, if I hold down Option, let's see, that's not what I wanted. Go to my shape here, and if I double click on that, no. I'm trying to get my draw it out one more time there. Okay, so new shape layer, select it, turn on the keyboard, designation, background shape, drag it below this white shape. Make sure I got my rectangle tool here. I'm just going to draw something here. We're going to animate that in a minute. Alright. And get our, well, it's actually not, we don't really have to change the shape of that. I don't think. Alright, so what we'll do is we'll this in about right here. Make sure that we have this selected. Alt or Option left bracket key, turn this. Alright. And we will go ahead and make sure this is expanded. We're going to we're going to rectangle here. The position of this, this is the entire position, not the position of the actual transformation. This is where it's at. So this is the actual position of the entire object on screen. Alright. We need to go ahead and move this center point there. I'll move it to the top there. And it'll snap as long as you have your snapping turned on. You don't have to hold down Command. That's all I want. Alright. So this is where it's going to start out. And what we'll do is our position is we're going to have it up here. Hold down, click it, then move it up, shift. And then a couple of frames in, hold down shift and drag it out. Alright, so we might even need to make it faster. We'll do a RAM preview, see how fast it comes down. Yeah, see, this is a little bit too slow, so we can just get this and drag it in here. Do a RAM preview. You always want to do a RAM preview and see how fast this comes in. Alright. And you can see that it goes out and it's still there. So we're going to trim it before this starts to fly away. So Alt and right bracket key, and it trims the ending. Alright. Command S. Alright. Pretty simple. Alright. Nice little animation. We're just going to copy these. And then we move down, paste them. And just kind of make, just throw them as touch in there. Just reversing these 2 points. Make sure that's out right there. Alright, so easy RAM preview. Alright. Alright, so that's not too hard to do. And so we need text right above this one. Alright. And get our T tool here. So Shift T. Nope. Let's see. Command T. I always forget it's a little bit different for this one. I'm going to say, you can see that this is a lot, smaller. I'm probably going to make this white to go along with what's up here. I'm going to move this down here. Make it even smaller, just a little bit. Medium, maybe condensed medium. Or maybe this medium metallic, that'll work. There. Alright. That's good. Just kind of move it in the middle and try to make it in the middle right there. You can see it snapping. If you don't want it to snap, just hit Command. If you want it to snap, hold down, then drag it. But I don't want it to, so I'm holding down Command. Alright, so there we are. It's pretty cool. Alright, I'm going to trim it. This comes in around there. So I'm going to trim this text right here. Option. Left bracket key, and right before it goes out, I'm going to trim the end of it. Option, right bracket key. So, alright. Maybe trim it just a little bit more on the beginning. And this one comes in so we can see how it looks. Might add a little animation to it because it doesn't look, and just kind of comes in. So we're going to have it slide from the top. Alright, so expand this one. We want to go to the position here. Make sure on this, so I'll go. You can use your arrow keys on your keyboard to move it. We're going to have it moved down here and then up just a little bit, Alright. Then we're going to move these in too. Alright, let's see what this looks like. RAM preview again. This little bounce. It looks a little bit unnatural. I'm going to pull this in just a little bit more. And then I might, right here, if you need to get to your precise keyframe, you just use these little arrows. Don't ever try and click on a keyframe. Move it up just a little bit there. And then just a little bit ahead and down. Alright. And it's got a little spring. It's 4 keyframes there. So that looks good. Alright. Alright, that's not bad. So I'm just going to copy these. You know, just kind of like we've been doing, and just reverse the order here. And just make sure they're not, you know, too far out there. Alright, so it's pretty easy. Alright, so what I am going to do though, I don't like this blue background, so I am going to go ahead and double click on this, make sure I'm on it. And I'm going to go down here to Contents, Rectangle, and then my Fill here. And just click on that, I'll make it black. That's okay. We can see what it looks like right here if you click on your checkerboard. It's just like in Photoshop. I'll just fit this on screen. Command, semicolon, turn off my guides, and then turn off that title action say so you can see it. It's just like in, you know, Photoshop when you want to have a clear background or a transparent background. You get the checkerboard, and so you can toggle that, you know, with a color or without a color. I'm going to hit Command S, and I'll just go ahead and do the RAM preview to see what it looks like. And there you are. Pretty simple stuff. Alright. And it's a really simple background. It's a really simple lower third. It looks good. Alright. The other things that you need to do, say that you have a lot of lower thirds that you gotta do. Well, for this one, I could hit return on the keyboard. I'm going to say lower thirds, design 01. I'm going to, in parentheses, template. All right. And then you can duplicate this. Just Command D and it'll duplicate it. And I'm going to say design 01 Rodriguez. So I know that this is Rodriguez's. All right. I can duplicate this. Hit return. I'm just going to change the last name here and call this, you know, Jones. All right. So here I could change the name here, Mike Jones, and down here, make sure double click on that. I get my right text. You have to select the right text. So, you know, after you do Mike Jones here, you double click on that. You need to go down here and select the text on your layer down here, and then you can double click that. Professional wrapper. Alright. Oop. Something disappeared there. Oh. My tools did. Alright. So just make sure you get your move tool once you're done editing, because you don't want to select the wrong thing. So you can see that Mike Jones. Now we could say that. So if I double click on this composition, I'll get a tab. So this is my tab for John Rodriguez, right? For that composition. double click on Mike Jones. Well, I accidentally changed the template and not Mike Jones. See, this is Jones here. This is the template I accidentally manipulated, which is fine. I'm just gonna return, copy this, and then I can say design 01 Jones. Alright, so that's alright, so it's this one here, return. I'm just gonna paste that. Alright. So I just want to make sure I had the right. I accidentally edited the wrong composition, right? And I didn't want to do that. But I'm just showing you. You create your template here. This could be name, or whatever. You know, you say first, last, and then this could be, you know, designation. All right. Might even. That's fine. Alright. So we know the now if we open up Mike Jones in this tab, Jones right there, composition, Rodriguez, his alright, his own palette there. So if you have like a lot, what I'm trying to get at is if you have a lot of different people that you have to make lower thirds for, this is, you know, and you're making them, animating them in After Effects, this would be a really easy way to do that. You create your template and then you just make duplicates. Now once you get ready, you have to export them, right? So you go to File and Export, and then you go to, I always use Render Queue, alright? And this is an output 2, I'm going to click on this. And it'll bring up a dialog box. The COM 350 here, Unit 1. I need a place for renders. I'm going to say Rodriguez, lower third. Alright. Lossless, I'm going to click on this. QuickTime's fine. I do want animation. That's what I want. I don't think there's a, you could do ProRes too. High quality ProRes if you wanted to, one of those. ProRes 422, you could say that. But what you want, let's see, it's a ProRes HQ. It might not allow me to do that. We might have to go with animation. Yeah, we could do PNG. Alright, let's go video codec PNG, okay. What you want is right here. Well, the ProRes, I was clicking on the wrong thing. See, ProRes 422, okay. No, yeah, we'll have to go. So we want to go to PNG down here. Click on OK. Where it says channels, you want to go to RGB plus alpha. All right. You don't want to leave it on RGB, because what it'll do is it'll render that background out as that black color that we started with before we, you know, clicked on the checkerboard. We want it to be transparent. So PNG is a file type that allows us to save with a true transparent background or an alpha channel. So we want to make sure that we select the RGB plus alpha. Alright, so the red and green, which is our colors and stuff like that, plus alpha channel. Audio, we don't need anything, it's just a lower third. Click OK. And then once you do that, you can hit render. It shouldn't take too long. Alright, it should go by fairly quickly. And once it's rendered, it's a movie file that we can then bring into Premiere Pro and plop on top of a video that we're working on that needs lower thirds. Alright. And just remember, you're not going to render the entire thing. Alright. you're only gonna, this is only 5 seconds here. You're not gonna render the full 30 seconds. You know, that's ridiculous. So you only render in After Effects what's behind this, between these little yellow in and out markers, right? What's in this bar. And so you can click the end of that and drag it in and out. This is all that we wanted to render. So that was pretty perfect right there. That's all that we wanted, right? Pretty easy stuff. So that's exactly how to create another type of lower third. It's professional. It's really simple looking lower third. There's not a whole lot to it. And that's how you render it. And like if I was to go into Dropbox here, the 3050, you know, 1 renders, you know, here's a Rodriguez lower third. I could pop that up and you'll see that, well, okay, that's on. All right, and so now you see that's what it looks like. That's it. All right. There you go. And that's all there is to it. I'm not gonna say it. I don't need to convert it. So, you know, that's pretty easy stuff. That's all there is to it. So happy editing, happy compiling, and happy making cool stuff.